vaccine industry, pharmaceutical industry, hospital industry, health insurance industry. All these destructive industries came with industrialization. All of us are existing today because thousands of our ancestors survived without modern medicine for hundreds of thousands of years. Industrial society is committing mass suicide after mass murder on Earth. Industrial man is decimating himself after decimating millions of land and marine species. Millions of other species destroyed environment only for food. Industrial man has destroyed environment for food, clothing, shelter plus thousands of consumer goods and services. Industrial man has destroyed exponential extra environment. Industrial society has barely existed for 100 years, during which it has destroyed forests, rivers, oceans, atmosphere and decimated millions of species. Everything that is happening in industrial society is wrong. Every single thing. Industrial society is ungovernable, unmanageable, unsustainable. Industrial society must be eradicated, abolished, dismantled immediately. Discussion and debate is the final madness of industrial society. All discussion and debate is futile. Millions of pages of debate on thousands of issues is a disease and insanity of industrial society that invented the print industry, radio, television and internet. Millions of pages of debate is another toxic waste of industrial society, which has also produced millions of tons of plastic waste, chemical waste, gaseous waste and e-waste. There is no point in taking up one problem at a time and then engaging in endless debate on it when there are thousands of problems in industrial society. All problems of industrial society have either been created by industrialization or worsened by industrialization. All problems of industrial society are unsolvable because industrialization itself is the cause of problems. Problems of industrial society can go away only when industrial society goes away. Topic after topic. Citizens of industrial society will discuss one topic for a few minutes, then they will take up another topic, then a third one, and so it goes on forever 24/7, 365 days of the year. When people discuss one problem, they behave as if it is the only problem in the world. Industrial society will debate itself to destruction. Industrial society will debate itself to extinction. Debate cannot solve problems. Debate itself is one of the biggest problems of industrial society. Debate is endless. Debate goes on forever. There was very little discussion in pre-industrial society. It was primarily limited to face-to-face interaction on local issues. Man was not created to read, hear or watch national and international news. Man was not created to debate national and international news. For 10,000 years before industrialization, man lived in small villages in agrarian society where he would only hear news of events that happen within a radius of a few kilometers from the village. It would take months and years for news from faraway places to reach the village, if it reached at all. Industrialization came with hundreds of destructive industries. News industry is one of them. Living in industrial society is not even an option. For 10,000 years before industrialization, man lived in villages in agrarian society. That was the limit for man on Earth. The entire industrial system is criminal. Industrial governments are criminal. Industrial citizens are criminal. Urban population of industrial society is criminal. Urban jobs, professions and activities are criminal. Millions of other species destroyed environment only for food. Forest man destroyed environment only for food. Agrarian man destroyed environment for food, clothing and shelter. Industrial man has destroyed environment for food, clothing, shelter plus thousands of consumer goods and services. Industrial man has destroyed exponential extra environment. Exponential extra environment. It is the urban population of industrial society that has destroyed exponential extra environment. The collective work of human society must be limited to food, clothing and shelter. Millions of other species only get food from Earth. Millions of other species have already been decimated by industrial activity. Man is next on the list. Human collapse will come with lightning speed now. The problem is not capitalism, communism or socialism. The problem is industrialism. Industry has destroyed environment. When there was still time to save environment, a whole century was wasted in the futile debate on capitalism, communism and socialism. The problem is not capitalism, communism or socialism. The problem is industrialism. Where there is industry, there is environmental destruction. 100 years of industrial activity has destroyed what was created by nature in millions of years. Forests, rivers, oceans and atmosphere have been destroyed. Millions of land and marine species have been tortured, slaughtered and decimated. Who will debate capitalism, communism and socialism on a dead planet? American industry has destroyed environment. Russian industry has destroyed environment. Chinese industry has destroyed environment. British, French and German industries have destroyed environment. Japanese, Indian and Korean industries have destroyed environment. Mining industry destroys environment. It doesn't matter whether it is run under capitalism, communism or socialism. Manufacturing industry destroys environment. It doesn't matter whether it is run under capitalism, communism or socialism. Construction industry destroys environment. It doesn't matter whether it is run under capitalism, communism or socialism. Electricity industry destroys environment. It doesn't matter whether it is run under capitalism, communism or socialism. Oil industry destroys environment. It doesn't matter whether it is run under capitalism, communism or socialism. Road and rail industry destroys environment. It doesn't matter whether it is run under capitalism, communism or socialism. Airline and shipping industry destroys environment. It doesn't matter whether it is run under capitalism, communism or socialism. Meat and fishing industry destroys environment. It doesn't matter whether it is run under capitalism, communism or socialism. It is the urban population of the world that is running industrial activity. Industrial activity is directly proportional to percentage of urban population. Consumerism is directly proportional to percentage of urban population. Destruction of environment is directly proportional to percentage of urban population. A communist industrial society with 80% urban population or a socialist industrial society with 80% urban population will be as destructive as a capitalist industrial society with 80% urban population. It is the percentage of urban population that determines how destructive industrial society is, not capitalism, communism or socialism. Industrialization is the biggest cause of oppression. There is millions of times more oppression, suppression and exploitation in industrial society compared to pre-industrial society. Yes, millions of times more in pre-industrial society. Humans exploited humans. In industrial society humans have exploited millions of other species in addition to exploiting fellow humans. Industrial society has exploited forests, rivers, oceans and atmosphere. Industrial society has exploited all living and non-living things on Earth. In industrial society the urban population has oppressed, suppressed and exploited the rural population. Industrial activity promoted by the urban population has destroyed billions of acres of farmland and tribal land. Urban jobs, professions and activities have destroyed millions of villages. The food of millions of other species does not come from money. Industrial society has created a criminal system where food comes from money. This has led to a tragic situation where the farmer who is producing food is starving to death because he doesn't have money to buy food, whereas the parasitic urban population which is not even producing food has grown obese from overeating because it has got tons of money to buy food. Who is running the evil governments of industrial society? Who is running the evil corporations of industrial society? Are people from Mars running them? Are the farmers running them? Evil governments and evil corporations are being run by the urban population of industrial society. People say 1% is controlling the world. This 1% doesn't come from Mars. It doesn't come from the farming community. It comes from the urban population. Billions of urban people are running all the mega corporations of the world. Billions of urban people are employed in mega corporations. The 1% ultimately comes from this urban population. The entire urban population of industrial society is criminal. The 1% that comes from this urban population is even more criminal. People are engaging in endless discussion on how big industries and corporations are destroying everything. There is endless discussion on Monsanto, nuclear industry, coal industry, oil industry, banking industry, weapon industry, pharmaceutical industry. What is the point? If your house is on fire, you rush to douse the fire. You don't engage in endless discussion on the hazards and dangers of fire. All industries and corporations are destroying the planet. This is a fact. There is no point in taking up one industry at a time and then discussing how harmful it is. These industries and corporations need to be stopped immediately. All destructive industries and corporations are being run by the urban population of industrial society. Urban population is the root of all problems. It is the urban population that has destroyed the planet. You can never escape from chaos, madness and destruction once you have created extra jobs, professions and activities. Industrial society has done just that. All urban jobs, professions and activities of industrial society are extra, unnecessary, destructive and worthless. For 100 years the urban population of industrial society has been fooling the non-urban population with figures and terminologies. Progress, development, growth rate, economy rate, GDP. If urban society stops its supplies to rural society, it will live forever. If rural society stops its supplies to urban society, it will die within a month. That is the worth of urban jobs, consumer goods, growth rate, economy rate and GDP. Urban jobs and professions have destroyed the planet. The entire urban population of industrial society is criminal. The crime goes unchecked because 50% of population is now urban. The crime goes unchecked because urban population is running the system. The food of millions of other species does not come from money. Only the food of human species comes from money. Industrial society has created a criminal system where food comes from money. This has led to a tragic situation where the farmer who is producing food is starving to death because he doesn't have money to buy food, whereas the parasitic urban population, which is not even producing food, has grown obese from overeating because it has got tons of money to buy food. For millions of years there was just one main activity/occupation on Earth: searching for food/producing food. Urban population of industrial society is the anomaly that is producing consumer goods and services. For millions of years, both adults and the offspring of millions of animal species searched for food. For 1 million years in hunter-gatherer society, both adults and children searched for food. For 10,000 years in agrarian society, both adults and children produced food. In industrial society, which has only existed for 100 years, urban adults are producing consumer goods and services. In industries and corporations, their children go to schools and universities where they learn how to produce and sell consumer goods in future. Today the entire world is collectively responsible for destroying the planet, but the biggest role in this process of destruction was played by Western civilization. It was the West that started industrial revolution. It was the West that forced industrial lifestyle on Asia, Africa and America, whose cultures it had destroyed during the era of colonization. We can use our time and energy for 3 kinds of activities: physical work, subjective work experience and mental work. For millions of years on Earth, environment did not get destroyed because activity was limited to physical work or subjective experience. Millions of animal species did physical work. Man did physical work in hunter-gatherer stage and agrarian stage. A very small percentage of population that did not do physical work spent its time and energy on subjective experience, religion, spirituality, yoga, meditation, pranayama and the arts. Large-scale destruction of environment began when man started using his time and energy for mental work, science, technology, engineering, physics, chemistry, mathematics, business, finance, economics. This led to industrialization and production and selling of thousands of consumer goods and services. As long as we limited our activity to physical work or subjective experience, we destroyed very little environment. When we switched over to mental work/desk jobs, we started producing and selling consumer goods and ended up destroying the planet in just about 100 years. Environment has been destroyed by mining industry, manufacturing industry, logging industry, construction industry, electricity industry, oil industry, automobile and rail industry, airline and shipping industry, meat and fishing industry. All industrial activity is interlinked and interdependent. Every industry promotes other industries. All industrial activity has collectively destroyed the planet. 100 years of industrial activity has destroyed what was created by nature in millions of years. Industrialization equal destruction of forests, rivers, oceans and atmosphere. Industrialization equal torture, slaughter and decimation of millions of species. Industrialization equal billions of tons of plastic waste and chemical waste. Industrialization equal billions of tons of gaseous waste and e-waste. Industrialization equal killing of billions of acres of fertile soil with cement and concrete. Industrialization equal butchering of trillions of animals in slaughterhouses. Industrialization equal poisoning a planet with nuclear waste for 50,000 years. Industrialization equal decimation of fish in the oceans by industrial fishing. Industrialization equal acidification and warming of the oceans. Industrialization equal oxygen deprived dead zones in the oceans. Industrial society has destroyed necessary things for making unnecessary things. Industrial society has destroyed forests, rivers, oceans and atmosphere for making consumer goods. If you don't get consumer goods you will not die. If you don't get food to eat you will die in a month. If you don't get water to drink you will die in a week. If you don't get air to breathe you will die in a few minutes. Fertile soil is the source of life. It was fertile soil that created and sustained millions of plant and animal species on Earth. Industrial society has killed the very source of life by covering fertile soil with cement, concrete and asphalt. Uproot all the cement, dig out the asphalt in the street, demolish the skyscrapers, bring down the mountains of concrete, uncover the earth, let the earth live again, let the earth breathe again, let the earth grow again. Millions of other species don't need money to live on Earth. Millions of other species don't need salary or pension. Human species is the only lunatic species that invented money. The food of millions of other species does not come from money. Human species is the only lunatic one whose food comes from money. Industrial society has created a criminal system where food comes from money. This has led to a tragic situation where the farmer who is producing food is starving to death because he doesn't have money to buy food, whereas the parasitic urban population which is not even producing food has grown obese from overeating because it has got tons of money to buy food. Scams, frauds, black money, corruption, all this nonsense came with industrialization. Money is being exchanged millions of times every second. In industrial society there is a possibility of corruption, scam and fraud every time money is given or taken. There was very little financial crime before industrialization because there was very little exchange of money before industrialization. All money of industrial society is blood money. All money of industrial society comes from industrial activity that has destroyed forests, rivers, oceans and atmosphere. All money of industrial society comes from industrial activity that has tortured, slaughtered and decimated millions of species. The more money you accumulate the bigger the criminal you are. The entire monetary system of industrial society is criminal. Industrial society created the monetary system to sell and purchase consumer goods and services. Industrial activity for production of thousands of consumer goods and services has destroyed the planet. Banking industry has destroyed environment by funding and promoting mining industry, manufacturing industry, construction industry, oil industry, electricity industry, automobile and rail industry, airline and shipping industry, meat and fishing industry. All these industries have collectively destroyed the planet. There was very little exchange of money in pre-industrial/agrarian society. There were very few consumer goods in existence in pre-industrial society and they were mostly exchanged through the barter system. The debt system of industrial society is an even bigger lunacy. Everyone is living on borrowed money. People are living on borrowed money. Countries are living on borrowed money. Excessive consumerism was promoted by the debt system. There is $230 trillion of collective debt in this world which will never be paid back. Millions of other species have already been decimated by industrial activity. Man is next on the list. Humans will either get decimated or wiped out within the next few years. All the debt in this world will remain unpaid. Man will make an exit from this world without clearing the debt. Out of thousands of our ancestors that have lived on Earth, only the last 3 or 4 attended modern schools and universities. The nonsense of schools and universities came with industrialization and urbanization. Some students attended spiritual schools before industrialization, but they were altogether different kinds of institutions. They did not prepare students for manufacturing and selling consumer goods and services after passing out. For hundreds of thousands of years most of the people did physical work. Mental work/desk jobs came into existence only after industrialization and urbanization. Physical work is normal. Mental work/desk job is the anomaly. Degrees equal destruction. Education has destroyed the planet. Universities have destroyed the planet. The most destructive person in this world is the university graduate. Millions of industries and corporations that are destroying environment are being run by university graduates. University graduates are responsible for all industrial activity in this world that has decimated millions of species and destroyed forests, rivers, oceans and atmosphere. Scientists, engineers, economists, MBAs, business and finance graduates have destroyed the planet. The most dangerous and destructive industry in this world is education industry. All industrial activity that is destroying environment is being run by scientific, technological, industrial, business and financial education. Universities and colleges are producing millions of scientists, engineers, economists, MBAs, business and finance graduates who are running and promoting all industrial activity in this world. Education industry is the source of all industrial activity. All other industries are byproducts of education industry. Education industry is the mother of all industries. Education industry is the mother of all environmental destruction in this world. Destruction of environment can never be stopped until universities are closed down. Decimation of millions of species cannot be stopped until universities are closed down. Destruction of forests, rivers and oceans cannot be stopped until universities are closed down. Industrialization equals decadence, depravity and unrestrained pleasure chasing. Industrialization equals millions of pubs, bars, restaurants and parties. Industrialization equals millions of tons of alcohol and designer drugs. Industrialization equals pornography industry, film industry, fashion industry, sports industry, music and entertainment industry. Industrialization equals hedonism raised to the power of infinity. Industrial society is engaged in two main activities: destruction and entertainment. Work hard, play hard. Destroy hard, enjoy hard. Man has spent more than 99.9% of his time on Earth in non-industrial societies. Man lived in forests for hundreds of thousands of years. Man lived in villages in agrarian society for 10,000 years. Man has lived in industrial society for just about 100 years, during which he has destroyed the entire planet. If urban society stops its supplies to rural society, it will live forever. If rural society stops its supplies to urban society, it will die within a month. That is the worth of urban jobs, consumer goods, growth rate, economy rate and GDP. Industrialization was the biggest crime on Earth. Agrarian society was the limit for man on Earth. Stop education, close down universities. Stop urban work, close down the cities. Millions of other species are not even getting food because their habitats have been destroyed by industry. Industrial man wants food, clothing, shelter, thousands of consumer goods and services, salary, pension, insurance, healthcare, welfare, and people thought this decadent and destructive lifestyle is going to continue forever. Height of insanity. Agrarian society was the limit for man on Earth. Agrarian society did not destroy oceans. Oceans were almost 100% safe in agrarian stage. Agrarian society did not destroy the atmosphere with millions of tons of industrial gases and automobile exhaust. Agrarian society destroyed only a fraction of forests destroyed by industrial society. Industrial society has destroyed forests for agriculture plus industry. Agrarian society destroyed forests only for agriculture. Environmental collapse happens when you destroy all three ecosystems: forests, oceans and atmosphere. Only industrial society has destroyed all three. Only industrial society could have destroyed all three. 100 years of industrial activity has destroyed what was created by nature in millions of years. Industrial society is destroying agriculture by destroying fertile soil and by changing global weather with industrial activity. Billions of acres of agricultural soil has been destroyed by industry. Industrial activity is destroying food and water. There will be severe shortage of food and water in the coming years. Food is going to vanish from Earth in the coming years. Agriculture requires regularity of weather. It requires heat, cold and rain at the right time and in the right measure. Global weather is regulated by forest cover, ice cover, ocean temperature and atmospheric temperature. Industrial activity has decimated forest cover. Industrial activity has decimated ice cover / glaciers. Oceans and the atmosphere have been made warmer. These changes have made the weather extreme, irregular and unpredictable. This has led to drastic increase in the intensity and frequency of droughts, floods, storms, cyclones, hurricanes and tornadoes. Agricultural production has already been affected by these changes. Agriculture is going to collapse completely in the near future. There will be no food for man to eat. Man has already decimated fishing. The oceans with industrial fishing. The land and the sea are the only two sources of food on Earth. Industrial man has destroyed both. Industrial activity is melting glaciers that give birth to rivers. In this world, most rivers will cease to exist very soon. Industrial society has already destroyed millions of ponds and lakes with construction industry and many other industries. Groundwater reserves have already been depleted by diesel and electric pumps. No food, no water. End of man on Earth.